Hi, thank you for clicking. So this is going to be my review on the thinkTank FirstLight 35L. What it's not going to be is a kind of list of products and features and me just kind of doing an unboxing video, because that happened about 6 months ago. But what it is going to be is kind of my thoughts and views on this for having it now for about 6 months, as I say. And spoiler alert, but what was going to be the bag that I was going to use infrequently for kind of bigger trips and carrying all the gear has now become my daily. And I honestly thought in summer I might have gone back to my other bag, but this is a keeper. So if you want to go straight to the video showing the inside, kind of how it all works, kind of what my thoughts are, click to here. But if you want to hang around and I'll give you a bit of view on kind of what I look for in a camera bag, and maybe good for the first timers if you're going to invest in, what is a serious bit of money for a bag. I'll give you some pointers on what I think is kind of things to look out for, because I've probably spent in the region of about £2 million over the last kind of 6, 7, 8 years at various bags. So I had quite an idea on, for me personally as a landscape photographer, what works well and what doesn't work well. So if you want to hang around for that, then stay tuned. Otherwise, grab a coffee and I'll see you back for the main part of the video. So hopefully you can see me okay in this very strong sun that we get in North Wales all the time. There, me doing a bit for the tourist board. But yeah, so I shoot landscape photography, and most of my settings are kind of where we are today. So it's beaches, it's kind of rocks, it's places where it's usually wet, slippy, cold, miserable. So I've had various bags over the years, and what's important for me is something that, first of all, is pretty lightweight. Because sometimes when I'm going for a shoot, I don't know quite what I'm going to get. I've got some ideas in my head, but I carry a stack of different lenses. I'll have my drone with me. I might get adventurous with the drone and use lots of different footage. So I might take 3, 4 batteries with me. And I have a lot of gear that I carry around. So I found that, quite quickly I was getting bigger and bigger in the camera bags that I was buying. So I've gone through kind of various makes and brands kind of over the years, and it'd be unfair to kind of pinpoint any out. There've been some failures, mainly the ones that have been overly heavy, the ones where the compartments don't kind of grip the gear appropriately, and the big one is the fact that a lot of camera bags, they don't sit well. I know that sounds quite a silly thing to say, but they don't sit well on the ground, so you're having to put them on the back all the time. So straight away you get in all your kind of straps are going in the sand, the wet sand, or they're falling over and going in the wet sand. So for years I've had bags where they were kind of face down, and when you opened up the back compartment where the straps are is where you get to all your gear. And that was something that I kind of swore by. This doesn't have that, and when I first kind of got it, that was my initial concern, was, well, how is this going to work? But I very quickly kind of got over it, and I saw the benefits that kind of it brings, which I'll come on to in a little bit. So yeah, they're kind of the main advice that I would say is, don't go too small unless you're going to have just a bit of camera gear with you. You might only have 1 or 2 lenses now, and that you're always going to kind of shoot the same kind of stuff. You don't have lots of gear, then of course go as small as you can do, but make sure that it can accommodate things like your batteries, like a raincoat or a gloves and hat in winter time, a head torch if you're going to be doing night photography. So it needs to have those kind of extra kind of bits and space, apart from just the kind of the main bit for the camera bag. So yeah, so don't go too small is what I'm saying. And the material that it's made of, again, I've had lots of bags that kind of ticked the majority of those boxes. But then I found that when they were sat in the sand, even when they were kind of face down and the straps were still keeping nice and dry, the main bit of the bag was just starting to not fall apart, but it was getting wet, and it was getting dirty, and it was getting damaged. It was getting harder to dry out. There were things that I might have put in what I thought was a safe place that very quickly were getting damaged and kind of and getting wet. So yeah, the material itself, and that's kind of, I found a big kind of price point difference, is you can get bags that look the business, but they're coated in something, or the material they're made of isn't the greatest. So that's kind of where I think people save a bit of money by giving you an inferior kind of quality of bag. Anyway, that's kind of, I suppose, my pinpoints is go for as big as you can carry, without, you know, being overkill for the kit that you're going to get, and especially if you are just starting, because realistically, you might have 1 or 2 lenses now, but as you start to go and take different shots, you'll see your mate at the beach or whatever that's got a bigger lens, and you'll want to kind of get more kit. So make sure that you kind of allow for that growth. It's also a good excuse to go out and spend some more money because you've got a gap to fill if you get a bigger bag. But yeah, in short, you know, spend as much as you can is my advice. It's something that it's the whole kind of saying, you know, you buy cheap and you buy it kind of twice. And that definitely is the case with camera bags. And I wish that I'd have kind of had somebody at some point say to me, spend a bit more, do a bit more research and get something that's going to kind of grow with you and going to last. Because if you're anything like me, you won't do that, and you will go out and spend a fortune on camera bags and have a wardrobe full like I do. But going on to the FirstLight. So long story short, I was looking for a bag that basically could tick more boxes for me. So I wanted something that, you know, I was going on kind of longer walks. I was going to new locations, and, you know, I had maybe an idea where I wanted to shoot, but then all of a sudden I'd see around the corner, half a mile away, something that looked quite appealing. So I'd be venturing more and walking more. And I found that my other bags, they were quite big, they were quite heavy, but there wasn't much in the way of adjustment on them. So, you know, I'm not the tallest person in the world. I'm quite tall for my height, at 5'9". And, you know, I found that the average kind of bag just wasn't sitting right on me. If ever you've been for kind of a rucksack, professional like walking rucksack fit, you'll realise the kind of benefits in getting something that is tailored for you. You know, the straps adjust a certain way, but the points where the straps meet the bag can adjust as well, and it's a game changer in regard to how it feels. So I wanted something that was more akin to a professional, not professional, but a serious hiking bag. So that was the first one. The second one was kind of from the points that I've mentioned, if you stuck around for that part of the video. But I wanted something that, you know, was definitely kind of water resistant or waterproof if possible, something that was durable, something that I could kind of throw around a little bit. I do take care of my kit, but, you know, especially where I'm shooting, a lot of times it's by the sea, it's on the beach. If something falls over, you know what sand and kind of salt is like. It's a nightmare. So I wanted my gear to be quite well protected. I wanted something that basically would allow me to take more kit than I wanted. That sounds daft, but that's kind of, it's the old kind of Boy Scouts thing, be prepared. So quite often if I think, okay, I'm going to take 3 batteries, I'll probably pack 4 just in case, because I don't want to kind of run out. So I wanted something that basically could allow me to take a bit more kit than what I need. If I don't use it, great, but it's just nice knowing that it's there. And something that kind of wasn't bulging when I did kind of cram it with all the gear that I needed to take with me. So as I mentioned previously, you know, I tend to take a variety of different lenses. I'll take my drone, which is an Air 2S, so it's quite a bigger drone compared to the minis that are out there as such. And so the batteries that come with it are bigger as well. And I do take kind of various lenses. I'm getting more kind of into videography now, so, you know, I'll take my, what's doing this now, my little DJI Go, whatever it is, camera. I'll take my GoPro with me, so I can get some wave shots if I want to. So I wanted something that could basically put all my gear in it, along with hats, gloves, head torch, waterproof coats, drinks, sandwiches, whatever I wanted to take with me. I wanted something that could basically accommodate all that. And this does it and more. And like I say, I've had this now for about 6 months, and it was going to be my kind of expedition, whatever you want to call it, you know, going for what I mentioned about going for a walk somewhere and going for a bit of a hike shoot and not sure what I'm going to photograph, so I'll take loads of gear with me. It was going to be a bag just for that. I've got an old camper van in McCoy, and it will get away quite frequently, and again I wanted something that I could throw all the gear in there and it's kind of contained, and that was going to be it. And I thought that come summertime, which we are in now, this is pretty much as hot as it gets, but it's hot for me being almost albino, and I thought that I would have gone back to my smaller bag and this would have got put away and just used for those kind of infrequent this time of year trips. But this is my keeper, this is my daily kind of everyday, take it everywhere bag. The reason being, it's light, which obviously it's in the name, but it is a light bag for what it delivers. It's bonkers. But it's the fit as well. I mentioned about kind of, I wanted something that basically has those kind of various kind of fitting points where you can basically measure it up to kind of, you know, the height that you need for you and get it to be a snug fit. And this is the comfiest bag I've ever had. And I've had f-stop bags that are designed specifically for walking, but I can't get them to be as comfy as I can do with this. This is nothing against f-stop. Maybe it's just that the one that I've got isn't a great fit for kind of my size, not too sure. But in comparison to this is the one that I'm going to use all the time. So there'll be some bags for sale. eBay link below. No, not really. And yeah, so just for an overall kind of where I'm at with this bag, that's kind of what it is. This is my daily bag, and I really can't see this getting changed out or swapped out. If I'm going for a little walk with a family and I'm taking maybe just kind of a 35mm prime lens, then yeah, I'll take my little kind of bag and I'll put some filters in there. But otherwise, this is the one that I use day in, day out. So from a kind of use endorsement, say this is not an unboxing video, this is not a first impressions, this is me having this for kind of 6 months and putting it through the mill. It is an absolute great bit of kit. So on now to kind of what I use it for, what's in it, some kind of not necessarily features and benefits, because you can go on the website and have a look at that, and I'm sure that everyone that's selling these now, because they are out and they are available, will be doing their own kind of spin on that and go to the thinkTank site and have a look at the details on there. But I'll give you kind of what is my, as a landscape photographer, kind of personal features and benefits of this bag specifically. So this is where I think, have I been too adventurous trying to do this on location? But we'll give it a go. I might end up doing some kind of shots internally if I feel that I can't quite do it justice. But anyway, first impressions, I say this is kind of going to be my view on it in regards to me using it purely for landscape photography. Other versions of photography are available. So what I really like about it, first of all, this cover on top. So in here is where I'd stash things like my keys, my hat, gloves, anything that I want kind of easy access goes into here. And come summertime now, what's really good about this is that all you need to do is take this off and it unclips from the back, so that then now becomes the summer version of it. I say summer version, but because I don't need it on top for my hat, gloves and head torch as much. And it's just kind of nice to have quicker access of just this bit of the bag. So that one will be going away into the shells until winter time. So what you're left with is kind of the main bit of the bag. And what I was saying earlier about I only buy camera bags normally that can, at this point, go face down so that I can get into the back of the bag to get my gear out. So yeah, it does mean that ordinarily this will be kind of face down, but the bags that I've had previously, this has been flush and there's been nothing in there. It's usually like a flat panel, so you can maybe get some car keys in there or something, but I've never put anything precious in there because it is face down all the time. So, but I preferred that kind of style of bag. So when this came through, I was a little bit concerned about, well, how is this going to work? You know, it's going to get kind of full of stuff because I'm going to have to put it on its back to get to the front bit. But as you can see, the bag is solid where it is. It's sat there now, and that's how it lives. And it comes with so many different kind of packers inside that are a typical thing, you know, the Velcro, you can move them around. But it means that what you can do is stack it out so that all you want to do is drop that panel down and there is access to all the kit. So say that is, it's not very tidy, so apologies. But you know, in there I've got my kind of 3 drone batteries, my kind of 3 lenses plus the one on the body. That's a D850, so it's not a small body. Plus it's got the L mount on it as well. I've got my drone, I've got a stack of kind of spare batteries, I've got camera filters, I've got drone filters, I've got my GoPro, I've got my GoPro spare batteries, other action cameras are available. I've got all that I need is there and it's quick access, and say it is going nowhere, it is solid, you know, I would trust it and nothing's going to come out. But you can pack it in better than that if you've got really even more delicate gear, or if you want peace of mind. So that's how I've used it all the time. Now, there have been some situations, you know, where it perhaps is uneven ground and I can't stack it and I can't prop it up against something, so it's had to go on its back. But the thing is built so well and the straps are so thick, and because you've got this kind of protected body bit on the back of it, especially when it's like this, it's dry, I'd put it down no problem, and then obviously you're into your quick access. All the zips and everything on it, all the coatings on it, just make it completely kind of bulletproof in my opinion. So it can live like that. But what they've done is the waterproof cover that it comes with, which I should have prepared earlier. Obviously this is included with it when you get it. It's designed so without much of a kind of a squeeze, it's overkill for the bag. It's bigger than what it needs to do, but it's got this kind of pull cord on it, so obviously it goes around it and adjusts. But what it does mean is that I can lay this down and put it onto there. So even if it was wet and manky, dirty, or whatever it might be, I can still throw the bag down and it's protected with the cover. And I've only had to do that once because, say, most of my locations that I go to, I'm able to just stand the bag on its base and it does what it needs to do. And other nice things about it, I'm waffling on here, but I've really got a lot more to give on this. You've got so many different compartments. I don't know if you can see the depth on there. So in there, I was getting things like my waterproof coat would go in there. My puffer jacket, if it was getting too warm, would go into there. I was taking food, supplies and bits and pieces, everything that I needed to take for, you know, a good kind of 3-4 hour trip out. Waterproof pants were going in there. So much storage. And I don't know if you noticed as well, but it's got the kind of extendable zip on it. So if you are taking kind of more gear than normal, you undo this and it expands. But say I have it like that all the time, just to make it a little bit more kind of compact. So in regard to kind of storage space, again, nothing that I've had in comparison. Even the dedicated walking bags, they've not had as much storage space on this because they kind of focus on being ultra light and this, that and the other. But I think for someone like me that takes shed loads of gear out with them, to have the extra space, even with all that you saw in there, to get my, say, waterproof and extra layers and food in there and stuff like that. The laptop compartment it's got as well. It's just kind of more than adequate to kind of throw out whatever you want at it. The carry handle on the side has been so kind of functional. So if I'm just kind of, if the bag's on its side and I'm just doing a quick kind of move around to a slightly different spot, I can pick it up from here, or I can pick it up from here and drive it and carry it around. It's the business. It is absolutely the business. It comes, of course, with tripod carriers, so you can mount it through the front. It's got an attachment that kind of pops down and you can carry it on the front. I carry it on the side. Drinks, water bottles can go in there. There's one on each side, by the way. And there's carriers on each side as well for your ski poles or whatever you want to do. But say I use that for the tripod. And in a nutshell, there's not much more that I kind of want to say. But say, truthfully, and you know, I've not kind of paid to do this, there is nothing that it doesn't do. What's really nice as well, while I got it this way around, is the padded supports, the waist straps. They're all padded. You've got the big zip compartment as well, so get your phone and your keys in there, anything for easy access. You've got all your kind of storage loop points on here as well. It's a good bit of kit. So that is my view, and hopefully it's kind of giving you some thoughts. If you've got any questions, I am more than kind of happy to answer them. But yeah, that is the FirstLight 35 Live from Conwy.